It's always been a feeling of don't look into it too much.
Police are asking for tips in solving a 36-year-old missing person case in Texarkana, Texas.
Any reason you're going 32 east instead of west?
Just in the event that this is a foul play scenario.
Margaret Chauncy was 24 years old when she was reported missing.
She had told my father about a week or two before she went missing that she was scared and that she thought somebody was following her.
I'm to our main gate. How can I help you?
Hey, I'm a search team that's in town doing the search for Margaret Chauncy. There's been some speculation that it might have been foul play, and the pond south of your pond might be in play on this one.
She was last seen about 11:15 on the night of October 20th, 1987, when she got off her shift at the old St. Michael Hospital in downtown Texarkana. Police believe that she was headed to her apartment, but never made it there.
It's a red Fiero.
Oh, red Fiero. That's right. Oh, that's a 2-foot car.
October 20th, 1987, Margaret Chauncy goes missing. A nurse, a mother of 2, and quite the mystery, because the longer these cases go on, a lot more theory, speculation comes into play, a lot more finger pointing as well. So on this particular case, could it be foul play? It could be. Could it be an accident? I have 2 locations that would be. Could it be a self-harm scenario as well? It's never out of the question, so we have to cover all 3 of those and always be aware of them when we're out on these cases. Now, when we take on cases, especially a case like this from 1987, law enforcement starts putting out news and press releases like, hey, we're looking for new help because we've not been able to solve this. So there's a lot of news on this. There's also other search teams that have come to the area. And I know one particular dive team, they've searched a lot of the areas that we're going to be researching today. Because one of the things that we always say, whether it's me or the other team or any other teams, I say, you know what, unless we've searched it, it's not been searched. Because we might miss something that somebody else might pick up. If we're in rivers, the way the sands and everything moves and the way that sonar works, and we just might catch something that somebody else missed, or they might catch something that we have missed. So I never have a problem with somebody coming in behind me. I always want to make sure that I can look the family in the face and say, we have done everything we can, and I've cleared that area 100%. And I like to be able to give the family those answers. Okay, so coming into the area, we're looking for a 1983 red Fiero.
That's a tiny car.
We find the Fiero, we're going to find her most likely. We always break it down into 5-mile radiuses of what we know as far as ground zero locations. We know that she was working that evening. We know that, and this is where some confusion comes in, was she last seen at the post office or was she last seen at her apartment? As far as being seen, it's a coworker that followed her on purpose because she asked her to, because Margaret felt as though a tall white male was following her. I don't know if they knew who the person actually was or is, but like I said, her coworker asked her, please follow me.
Now, reading up on this too, the suspicion of somebody following her, she was also going through a divorce at the time that was not amicable, right?
Correct. So let me get into that as well. But as far as Roger, her ex-husband, alibi, he's been at work, so he's not a person of interest. Now, where do we go from there and how do we break this down? Let's first break this down as to, and I'm going to take you on a route as far as accident locations. With these accident locations is, okay, feels as though somebody's following her, I'm going to go to my parents' house, or I'm going to go to my brother's house. Her 2 children also are at visitation with Roger. The route that we have is we have a coming up 71 here. There's a new 32 cutoff route that was not here back in the day. So there's a Pringle Pine Road or something like that that's down here that then cuts across. Now with Margaret also, she's been known to be a partier. I'm told that those that are trying to avoid law enforcement would be taking this road to be cutting up to mom and dad's house or over to brother's house. So let's come to a foul play or on purpose scenarios. I know that the families always watch these, you know, and I always have a hard time, even these years later. I don't want to insinuate anything. I don't want to insinuate, okay, it was foul play and so did it. I don't want to insinuate it was on purpose and she was just done and she didn't think things through with the two girls being raised later on in life. So, you know, for Brandy and Ashley, that's Brandy and Ashley that's watching this, like I said, this is how we have to break it down so that way we can come into these searches and explore them the best we can in hopes of finding your mother. Which brings us to Bringle. With our search, we're currently up here on the north side right now. I'm really only interested on the north side, and the reason for it is because if you go to the Wayback Machine, this boat ramp actually was not there back in the day. It's showing the roads of today, but there's nothing
there. No, that's a thick forest.
Yeah. But we're going to just say, let's go ahead and run across the lake. It's a mile across the lake. We'll double check it anyway.
Have you ever taken your magnetometer and drug it over a dry pond that has never been dried up before, but just recently, and found anything that's just covered up with sediment that might just look like a mound?
In a pond, no, and the reason for it not in a pond is because when something goes in, a larger object like a vehicle, okay, it goes in and it settles because there's the mass, the weight distribution of it. And so in everything we found, even all these years later, 3 decades, 4 decades later, it's not going to be buried. Now in a river, it's going to be different. So I want to talk about the river aspect of it right now as well. So let's bring in this location here along the river. This river has a lot of movement to the sand and sediment in it. If by chance at any point Margaret ever ended up in the river, I don't think we're ever going to find her, because this river has moved so much, being the Red River, and as much sand and sediment as it has in it. And so what I'm going to show you though is if there was ever an opportunity that she would have been found in the river, I think that it would have been in 2011.
So just big drought in 2011 down here, seems like?
Yeah, so there was a drought. And so a lot of this river, as we come back, you'll see a lot of exposed sandbars, and there's a lot of locations to where you can actually see across the river that you can walk across it. The river itself also, most of the locations I'm not even interested in, because unless you're coming through a farmer's property and really driving into it, even back then as well as today, you don't have much access to that river at these locations. The locations that you do, you can then see that these sandbars have been exposed in 2011 and really open it up, such as this one right here. So if she came in, or if somebody brought her in and dumped her here, this is as far down as she would make it, and you can see that all of that was walkable in 2011.
Yeah, and so when you're talking about the pond versus the river, I mean, it definitely could be covered up by sand, and you're never going to find it. I mean, you'd have to drag that magnetometer around for days.
Yep. However, you know, the sand can move, you know, it does move all the time. Right. And so I'm going to leave this on our search list for the very, very last location if we don't find her at these other locations.
Right.
What I want to then focus in on is, this is her hometown. This is her hometown area. Anybody that may have been stalking her, are they from her hometown, or again, is this a on purpose scenario? You come out 32. This is my #1 target at this lake, because it goes, and I checked the Wayback Machine, this lake has never been down enough that it would have exposed a vehicle if a vehicle would have gone off here. So you come out here late at night, nobody's around, and you have that boat ramp. You have another boat ramp over here that is also kind of in a bay area, but it appears to be deeper out there in the bay that it would have never been exposed all over time, even in 2011. And then you have a third one that I'm not as interested in, but we're at the lake, so we want to make sure we check it. You can see how it gets shallower in here, but you're also coming through a community over here. So to recap, we're checking this because we're here. We're skipping the river for the time being. We're going to check these 2 accident locations, and then we're going to jet up to this location and start working our way back towards the river. Simple enough?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Let's see if we can bring her home today.
For families who have all but given up on finding their loved ones, this team is a last hope. civilian divers cracking cold cases for free.
Now, in your opinion and experience, Cade, would you pump this up before pulling out anymore? Or would you just want to drag it out?
It doesn't. Well, I mean, we could just use the battery when we take it out. I don't think it makes a difference.
Okay, I'm just for like dragging gear and stuff. I don't know. Before I pull this out and snag something or do something wrong.
We pull the big one out all the time. Okay, well, granted, both of them have chambers that are popped, so.
I need batteries too, so I'm gonna go grab those.
Okay. I will work on cleaning up the numbers and putting those on.
Oh, sounds good. Yeah, I forgot about that. I'll go grab those registration numbers too.
Where did the carabiners end up? The new ones? The black ones? The small ones?
In the...
Thank you.
Yep, solvent spoon.
Now, one thing, the other Sonar team, they did find a truck out here. So, a really old vehicle that we identify. If we see a vehicle out here, we're not excited about a vehicle unless we identify it as a Fiero.
Yeah, and like I said, that's a tiny car. So
Yeah.
from 1987, it's going to be pretty flat.
Yep. So 1983 car from 1987.
From 1987, right? But I'm just talking about the time if it's in the water. Now, freshwater, it preserves pretty well.
Well, it all depends on where you're at in the country also. Like, I mean, you have sulfuric type acid, and sure, not acid, but I mean, water.
Sulfur
with more
water.
sulfur in it.
Okay, and so that affects it?
Yeah, different waters will affect it for sure.
Mineral content? Okay.
Byron! Byron! Hey, we get a knife and more electrical tape. We need to reset this.
A knife and electrical tape. Okay, cool, I got that.
Oh.
Look at the two brothers working together.
I tell you what, nothing gets done better, more efficient, and top quality than
Two brothers that think alike.
Two brothers that think alike.
Look at you guys. This is so cute.
See how we didn't have to talk? We just did. There we go. Scan the ramp, scan the dam, scan the dam, and then we'll jump across that other boat ramp as well. All right, so I just found that other vehicle in question. That's the Chevy pickup. Yeah, see that pile of mess right there? So that's the truck. You can see the tire next to it as well. So now if we find anything else in here, then we'll be excited about it. Yeah, like this over here. I'm interested in this right here. We got something right here. Looks like you have a bunch of bait fish over there. Yeah, not tall enough once you get over it. It's just all that bait fish. See them all swimming? That's what we were picking up there. Yeah, so I still have something over here that's 18 feet over here. Yeah, see, I'm running into those bait fish again. It's not what I want, because then it... All right, that's all it was, just the bait fish moving around. Yeah, somewhere we got a leak in this boat. Yeah, look at how much water is in here already. I'll have to look at the bottom and see where a hole is at. That's a lot of water. That's not working. All right, we'll drop sonar. Yeah, we're down to 5 feet deep here. Getting shallower as we go this way. I'll scan out just a little bit further, and then we'll scan the other boat ramp coming into it. Ladybug on me. Came along for a ride.
Lift with your back, not your legs. You can't go walking around without legs.
So tonight, we should pull it out and patch it up.
It's not squirrely. This one's perfect for legs. And one was yes.
Talking earlier about you know, like clearing areas, and if you haven't been there, you know, and somebody else has and they've cleared it, you still go clear it. Do you think that obviously sediment and stuff moves around? Have you ever gone to a place where you've dove, nothing, and then you went back and, or not dove, but like scanned, and then you go back and you scan again and it's like, oh, there's the car. And is it possibly sediment moving around and unbearing and bearing over the years?
We haven't had the issue with sand, but let me tell you, yes and no. So like the mayor up by Cornelius, we ended up finding him under a bunch of tree debris, and we'd scanned that area multiple times, but then this time it just happened to reflect perfectly for me to have actually found him.
The trees had moved?
Yeah, they could have. Or I just didn't pick up the scan up properly the first time. The water levels could have been higher, which gave me, because he was down 30, 35 feet. So the deeper the scans, the more difficult it is to read.
Right.
Now, with your sand and sediment, talking about Shreveport, were you with us when we went into one of the little 12-mile bayou offshoots, and it had been 13 feet before, but when we went into it this time, it was so shallow, it wasn't even giving us a reading, that it was dragging our sonar on the bottom. And in talking to the police department, or sorry, the fire department, they said, yeah, that one fills up, and then every spring when the big runoff happens, then it washes it out.
Yeah, I can see that being a thing though. Like, yeah, sand.
And so we know
sediment,
that we
trees.
know, yeah, and so we know that there's 3 vehicles in there, but we were not able to identify them on this last trip because they were covered by 13 feet of, or 10 feet of silt and sediment.
Right, exactly. Huh. And even if you drug the magnetometer across, it doesn't matter because you can't get to it.
Yeah, I'd never be able to get to it 10 feet deep.
Right.
This Pine Prairie Road that we're going to make a left on right here, this is the one that cuts through the south side, and this is also the road that if people are trying to avoid law enforcement, this is the road that they would take
accident location number 1, yes?
Accident location number 1, yes.
Okay.
It looks shallow,
It could be.
but I don't know. We'll have to get the bobber ball out.
Yeah, I mean, I see tree stumps, 4 tree stumps over here that are cut off, but don't know how deep those are.
All right, let's figure it out.
There you go. Look at that, Iron Man red. Oh, there you go. It's way better that way.
Oh yeah, it's going there. No, that's 5 minutes. Oh, now it's 3 minutes. See, it's going fast. Oh wait, now we got 2 bars right here. Oh, now 2 minutes. Okay, we're downloading now. Yeah, I got 2 bars right here.
Exactly right there.
Exactly right here.
How about now?
Now we're down to 2 minutes for download.
How about now?
No, don't, oh, you just messed it up. Oh no, that made it go faster.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, do that again. Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, we're down to less than a minute now, it says.
Okay, 7 feet. No,
5.
5 feet. Still deep enough. Oh, here we go. Down to 6. 5.5.
Deep enough to hide our car.
Yes, it is.
And then go to the right under the bridge there, Brian. So now, even though it said 5.5 feet on the striker sonar ball that we were using, it's probably only gonna say 3.5 to 4.5 on this because they hang down in the water a lot more. I'd love for this to be nothing more than an accident and finally bring her home.
Hi.
How y'all doing this morning?
Good, thank you.
I'm Jody, by the way.
Hi, Jody.
Jared's in the boat.
Yep, 3.5 feet, just like I had anticipated. 4.5.
Thank you.
All right, bridge pillars, bridge pillar, bridge pillar. There's a tire. So there's a couple things that are taller out here that are not cars. All right, so I've changed the width of this to 40 left and 40 right, so her vehicle's going to fill just over a full frame. And it won't be this far down if she came off the road in there. So let's head back up there and scan. Her barrel, small, not a car. Something sticking up there, but not a car. All right, no cars there. Now we got tree logs to go around here. So we will try and get around through there. Let me go around the other way. Well, it's actually getting deeper here. All right, now we want to not hit that. I want to not hit that. I wanted to not hit that. I want to not hit that one. I want to not hit that one. Okay. All right, so we got big shadows over there, but I think it's just a tree only because there's the tree and the shadows on the other side. But we'll go double check it. And then the vehicle wouldn't be any further up here because it would have come off the bridge there and then just plowed in right there. What I don't want is I don't want a tree that like just fell on it and we miss her. All right, well, I feel pretty good about that one. Okay. Pleasure to meet you both. Yeah, Jody.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. And
in
then
the rocks.
I never got your name.
I'm Ricky.
Ricky, pleasure to meet you. Well, the game plan today so far is we've already hit Bringle, and then we found the same vehicle that the other two had found before. Nothing else was in there. then we're interested in the 2 possible accident locations, which are this one and the other canal. And then after that, then we're going to head up to your lake that's off of 32 up here. You have the 3 boat ramps. 2 of them I'm more interested in. The third one to the north. You have 2 on the south, and then you have one that's kind of to the northwest a little bit by yacht, whatever. That one I'm not as interested in, but we're going to clear it while we're up there. I'm more interested in what's easily accessible from Ashton on 32, which would be these 3 locations, which is going to be Beards Bluff, and then you have Millwood State Park.
Yeah.
And then you also have...
Is there any reason you're going 32?
Yarborough.
East instead of west?
Is there what?
Any reason you're going 32 east instead of west?
Just in the event that this is a foul play scenario, people from the area would know, all right, I have a larger body of water that's deep. That's why I'm interested in that lake. Let's tackle those, and then we can always drop back to the mill, talk to the mill manager about this one over here. And then I'm keeping the Red River for last, just because, like I said, it's so unlikely that we're going to find her if she is in there.
Yeah. It moves so much, and like I said, if you do dive on one, you ain't going to see it. You're going to feel it.
Yeah.
There will be no visibility.
And it sounds like they found 4 over there before, and it sounds like your local dive team came in and actually cleared them afterwards. All right, well, let's get down the road a little bit and check a few more of these. Do you know if this has always been fenced since when she went missing?
Yes. Ever since this canal's been put in, all the fence has been down through here, and especially right here.
Okay. So
it had these gates on it.
Okay. So if anybody ever went in here, there would have been a down fence and somebody would have noticed.
Yeah.
We're gonna go hit the lake then. Are you guys hanging out with us for a bit? So, all right. So we're gonna head up there to the Beards Point. Sir, I'm doing good. How about you today? Good. Hey, we're working a missing persons case from 87, Margaret Chauncy from Ashton, and her vehicle and her are still missing. So one of the locations of interest for us is to search the boat ramp over here, seeing if we can sneak in here. And
what you'll need to do is go to the Corps office and talk to somebody there.
Yeah, why don't you do that while I send them stuff? You gonna run down with Jody for that?
Hi, how are you today? Good. Hey, we are working a missing persons case from 87 for Margaret Chauncy. And we'd like to search the boat ramp over at Beards Landing, Beards Bluff. So seeing if we can get permission to go past your barriers there and just pop down to the boat ramp real quick.
I don't see an issue with that at all.
Alligators. Nice.
Oh, it does say alligators.
It does. It says warning, alligators present. This is awesome.
Oh, look at that. So he uses a little crane and he's got the umbrella on the end of it. Now let's readjust that one to 75 feet left and right.
Brandy is here, and they said really watch out for alligators. They're bigger than your boat here, they said, down by the dam.
Really?
Yeah, they said watch out.
Oh, glad I'm not diving today.
Oh, I'm scared just being near the water.
Well, don't leave me out here any longer then.
This is Brandy.
Hi, Brandy.
Hi, I'm Brandy.
I'm Jared.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you as well. So,
Margaret's daughter.
huh?
Margaret's daughter.
Well, I know that. I've been talking to her.
Well, last I heard from you, she didn't email yet.
Yeah.
I suck at emails for real.
Yeah, no worries at all. So we've cleared this location. We're gonna move over to the next boat ramp at the state park, and then Yarborough or whatever it's called. Up to the north, we're gonna go check out that boat ramp as well. And then we did cover the 2 locations over there on Pine Prairie Road as well. So I was really hopeful on the one because there's plenty of room for the first bridge that you go over at Fish Lake that you can absolutely drive over into the water on that one. But unfortunately, it's It is 5.5, 6 feet deep, so plenty deep for a Fiero, but we were unable to find anything in there.
Yeah.
And then the other one at the canal, I guess that's the runoff for the paper mill for the canal. And that's been a metal fence that's been up forever. So sounds like that was already there when your mom had already gone missing.
Yes, that's been there for years.
Yep. Brings us down to the river later on. I'm kind of keeping that one for my last one, as far as just because I have these other locations I want to knock out. Because at the end of the day, if your mom ended up in the river at any time, we're dealing with 30 plus years that unfortunately, you know, that river, I mean, it shifts, it moves, sand moves. All. Well, it's not necessarily the danger part of it, it's the sand that has moved over time and is going to easily bury a Fiero. Whereas in a lake, in a body of water, we have the ability that it's just sitting on the silt and the sediment, and it's going to bury some, but it's not going to be completely buried as it will in the river. So I do know that they have found 4 other vehicles down there before, but we will scan and see if there's any other vehicles that we might be able to find at that location. Okay. Other than that, I mean, those, like I said, those are the top priorities that I have today. I think that what I want to do, I know a lot of people, give me your thoughts and your feelings on this one. A lot of people who have reached out to us said we might want to check the pond at the south side of the mill. What is have you heard that, or what's your thoughts and feelings on that one?
No.
Okay.
I've never heard that. Have you? Check the pond on the south side of the mill, paper mill?
Have you heard of that before? So.
I check every body of water around there.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're going to reach out to the mill manager, and we'll see if he'll let us onto the property.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he can get on the property and just clear that one. So that way it's off of everybody's plates, and we've cleared that as a possibility as well. Because again, you know, we don't know if it's foul play. We don't know if it's an accident. And right now, I mean, I've pretty much ruled out any potential accident locations now. I mean, you only had one really is all you have in the area. So that's kind of where we're at, is just the rumor of, somebody that might have been a tall white gentleman that was following her that evening that made her feel uncomfortable.
And also, she had told my father about a week or two before she went missing that she was scared and that she thought somebody was following her. They were recently divorced, and I think he was just there was a lot of bickering back and forth between them over us girls and things, so I think maybe he just thought it was more dramatics on her part, maybe, how sometimes when people are separated,
right,
how they get, he didn't pay her a lot of mind. He didn't think about that till later. But he's, since then, told the detectives and everybody everything he knows, and also hired a private detective to look for her. So, and nobody's ever turned up anything. But also there was like a lack of an investigation back then on the police department's part.
And feel more so up here in Ashton, or
Texarkana, where she disappeared from.
Oh, okay. So you feel like it never took place down there because she was from up here, so they didn't take it seriously.
Oh, they're not even going to look into it in Little River County. And then Texarkana, we've got small town politics and stuff, but also it wasn't in their jurisdiction, so they're just not concerned. Also in Texarkana, it was kind of always pushed under the rug, kind of like not paid attention to, more of that's what the private detective gets a feeling of, is that it's kind of like he was a previous, detective there.
Right.
He's gone, he's passed since then, but it's always been a feeling of don't look into it too much.
And usually, nurses are within the circle. So why do we feel like she might have been?
Because when you're within the circle and you know certain people, and you're low man on the totem pole, if you make the wrong people upset, you get buried. You get close downhill. I'm sorry to say it that way, but that's really how it is.
Right.
I'm a nurse. I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's that. Maybe some people that were more important were viewed as being more important than her, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The longer somebody goes missing, the more all of this comes in. It's like all these rumors and theories
Yes.
that you've heard through the years.
I've gotten it through like just digging up scraps of stuff from people and from like talking to the private detective when he was still alive years ago, and talking to the detective now, and then just people coming up to me. You wouldn't believe the crazy stuff people feel the need to say to me. I don't know what they think they're doing, if they think they're helping or what, but some stuff is like totally like, that's not even relevant, you know, but there are some things that have been said that are strange and kind of keep coming up, so it makes you wonder.
So with the things that do keep coming up, are they pointing not necessarily towards somebody, but are they pointing in a direction for us?
Like more towards the relationship she had with the doctor, the one that wasn't willing to be interviewed or anything, and he was beloved. This picture hangs on the wall in the big hospital in Texarkana.
Yeah.
He's passed since then, but you know, just stuff like that, and I don't know. It's like nobody really cared. They didn't investigate any scene.
Right.
They went to her apartment. They didn't investigate it. I mean, they looked. There was no scrubs, so they didn't take any kind of. I'm not a detective, but you know, I listen to all these podcasts and stuff, and I watch television, and I'm like, they didn't. You know, I don't feel like they really did any kind of investigation.
Right.
You know, the only thing that you come back to is that the vehicle's missing, and so that makes you think that somebody probably got rid of it. How would you get rid of a vehicle? So you'd either put it like maybe in a junkyard somewhere, or you'd put it in water.
Yep.
Or you could bury it if you had heavy equipment, but that takes a lot of work. I mean, you got to know somebody.
Yeah, we've heard it all for sure. You know
what I mean? So, I mean, that gets kind of outlandish. So the easiest thing would be like either a junkyard or drive it off in the water.
Right. Well, we do have 3 more locations with a possible 4th. So like I said, let me knock out these other 2 locations, and you're welcome to follow and hang out with us today if you'd like. And
thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate everything y'all are doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It means a lot to our family. My sister's a little bit more reserved because she was younger, so I remember when it all happened, and it was devastating, and we were all scared because we just didn't know what happened.
Yeah. How old was Ashley at the time?
She was 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she won't remember anything.
Yeah, so I was 7 and she was 2, and I was in school, and I remember all the kids talking to me and all the teachers being like, shh.
Yeah.
You know, don't talk to her about that, because I stayed upset all the time. You know, my mom's there one day and then she's gone. So it was devastating, and it's just hard.
Do you feel like you went into nursing to honor her, or what? Yeah. That's nice.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, and I feel like I've done that, but I don't know. It's just hard. It's a missing piece, and it's something that you always wonder about.
Yeah. You know, one gal that we ended up finding, she was in Texas as well, you know, was Carrie Mae Parker. You know, and for years, for 30 plus years, the family felt as though somebody was involved, or it was a self-harm scenario, and it was nothing more than she was on the way to pick up her kids and to go to a birthday party, and she ended off the side somewhere.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day,
things like that just happen.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you know, with our searches today, I really hope that that's the situation. I'm going to find her somewhere as an accident location for you.
Because then it would take away a whole component of it, of thinking that she was attacked, you know, or she suffered or something like that.
Yeah. Like you know, we were talking last night, you know, via text, and you said at the end of the day, you know, right now it doesn't matter who or how. You just want that peace to know where she was and to bring her home and give her a proper burial.
Yeah, we just want to put her to rest.
Yeah.
And, you know, just know where she's at.
Yeah.
That's the most important part.
All right. Well, let's move down the road to the next boat ramp and see if we can give you those answers today.
All right, well, thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. Yep. cove here, so no go in there.
There is about a big 12 or 13 footer who lives here.
Yeah?
People like feed it and stuff.
Yeah? So don't stand in the water then? Oh. Well, that would be fun. I'll put my hand down and pet him.
Let's sonar this alligator.
All right, so we have something right there, but I'll double back to it because it just started to read, so we'll check it in a minute. Anyway, he said none of these docks were here, so we'll circle around this real quick, search that one, come back and see what that lump was there. We're only at 6 feet deep though, and the lake draws down like between 6 and 10 feet. Yeah, they've done a really good job with putting a fish structure down here. It looks like more like a tic-tac-toe type of a deal. That's fish structure that they build up so that way the fish can go in there and hang out.
Oh, little habitats.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
A lot of tires down there. So those are tires right there.
You ever found an old case like this, an aged case like this at areas that there's been new dock work ever? Or is that a thing?
Yes, James Mobley, where they drove the pylon right through the middle of his old car engine.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got something else over here too, but it's the similar shape as the other one.
Yeah, look pretty square.
But we're gonna go double check it. All right, it is coming up right here. It's only 1 foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see it right now.
Mm-hmm.
See that?
Mm-hmm.
So either an old sunken dock or the concrete that they use to then tie these off to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's at an angle kind of pointing towards it maybe.
Yep. All right, well that clears this.
Okay.
So Tracy over at the mill, does anybody have the phone number for the mill over there? That would be
2711.
Say that again?
870-818.
How do you guys have this memorized?
Because our husbands and our daddies and our aunts and uncles and everybody we know works there, and Jody worked there her whole life.
Okay, what's the phone number?
870.
870.
I'm sorry, main gate. How can I help you?
Hey, I'm a search team that's in town doing the search for Margaret Chauncy, who went missing in '87. And there's been some speculation that it might have been foul play, and the pond south of your pond might be in play on this one.
I'm gonna send you to our safety department lead, so he may be able to work something out with you or get you in touch with somebody.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you.
Record your message after the tone. When you've finished, you can hang up or press 1.
Leave a message. Hey sir, my name is Jared with AWP. We're in town doing a search for missing persons. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Who am I speaking with?
This is Jared with AWP. But yes, we're doing a sonar search in search of Margaret Chauncy, who went missing in 1987. And there's been some rumors floating around that we'd like to put to rest as to if she may have been put into the ponds south of your retention ponds back when the ranch owned that property down there, back in '87. And so
South of the retention pond.
So south.
Who am I speaking with?
Jared Lysick.
Let me pass this information along, Jared. And how long are y'all in town?
We plan on leaving town around noon tomorrow. So yeah, if we could get permission, jump in there tomorrow morning, that would be amazing.
I can't make any promises on what they'll do or not do, but I will forward this information on to the people who make the decisions. Okay?
All right, sounds good. I appreciate your time. Thank you. So I've been asked, what do we do if it rains? We just keep on working. Put our rain gear on and away we go. We're in town and on the road for only a specific period of time. And so we're gonna make the most of it while we're away from home. So this is what we do and we enjoy it.
Hopefully people can see, like, it's a lot of water coming down.
Yeah.
So I'm heading up this direction and going based off of, yes, we have the boat ramp here that I think and appeared to be here back in 87, but our maps only go back to 95, and in 95 or so it shows there was a lot more access over here as well, so I want to make sure I clear all of it properly. And it's nice that the river is actually not running, like it's almost like a lake versus a river. Alright, so we have some stuff out here. There's an old bridge pillar there or something, and then you got something here that could be a vehicle, but it's too big to be a Fiero. But we'll go back over and scan that. Too small. This is what I was interested in that we're double checking. Looks like, it almost looks like two great big catfish on the bottom together. Alright, so look at that coming up. Yeah, look at that. It's like a round cylinder, is what that is. So now the question is, I have not seen any footage or heard of anything as far as them pulling these 4 vehicles out. So the thing is, if we find 5 vehicles, then we're interested. Or if we find one that's a Fiero, then we're interested. So it looks like there's one there, but it's a lot larger, bigger than a Fiero, but we'll double check and see exactly what it is. There's another vehicle off to the left there. Really, that one's a lot older. And we're gonna exaggerate how far we would normally go on this also, just because we don't know what the river, how it was running then. It was October. So I would say that the river would have been down in October, end of summer. But the thing with the Fiero also, there's not much airspace in it, so that thing's gonna sink right away. Arkansas. Hello, this is Jared.
Hey Jared, this is Jason Young. I'm the Health, Safety, and Security Manager here at Domtar and Ashdown. How are you?
Hey Jason, I'm doing good. Thanks for calling me.
Yes, sir. So, got your request. Did run it up the food chain. Definitely willing to entertain your proposal, but we gonna have to run it up to corporate, to legal, and all of that. I think was mentioned that you'd like to do it in the morning. I'm just being honest. Don't know if I will have answers back by in the morning. But I definitely do not mind running it up the food chain and just clearing it with corporate and making sure all was well.
Oh, no, I really appreciate that. Yeah, we're in town till about noon tomorrow, but yeah, I mean, if by chance you have an answer for us, that'd be great. I apologize we didn't plan this sooner with you, and I was hoping to find it in one of these other locations that would take foul play off the table, but, you know, whenever these cases are, 10, 20, 30 years old like this one, foul play is always suspected, and we do our best to clear all the locations for the family to rule that out for them.
I'll shoot that to corporate tonight, and but I would not expect that answer by tomorrow.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, but yeah, let's see what we can do to start pushing the ball on it. That'd be great. Appreciate it.
Most definitely, man.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, bye. All right, let's run this back up. I can't even keep up with the water that's in here now. It's too much. All right, so we have one over here. Let's go check this one out, see what it is. It looks too big to be a Fiero. Looks like it's a pickup truck or an SUV. Yeah, SUV. See that? All right, there's another one coming up underneath of us right there right now. Well, that one is upside down. Appears to be smaller. That is a really small car. Not very big at all. So that's kind of right off the cove there. So I think we need to dive that one in the morning just to verify with our own eyes. Okay, then we got another one over here, or something out here. So let's go see what this is. What is that? Upside down. This one looks like an SUV as well. It looks to be taller, but it could just be built up on it as well, so I'm not quite sure. It looks like a bigger wheel on it. Yeah, it doesn't look like a Fiero. The other one looks like it could be a Fiero. So there's 3 so far, and that's all I'm seeing so far. So either something's been pulled out of here, misidentified, there was never 4, it's been covered by sand. A lot of things could have taken place on it. Do you know, after the local dive team went back in, did they pull any of the vehicles out? You guys know? I know it was on the news, but I don't know if they dove them only.
I know that he said there were several of them in there, and I don't know if they pulled out any of the ones from here. They pulled out one from right there in Texarkana.
From State Line Lake.
Yeah. And but I don't think he pulled any out here.
Right now what I have, so I have the SUV that I know that nobody was interested in. So that one's plain as day on there. And then I have another one that's kind of upside down, but it's also kind of nose down. But the tires seem to be too big on that one. So I'm not really interested in that one, but we're gonna dive that one tomorrow. But I'm really interested in one that's closer to the boat ramp, that's upside down, that's about the same size and shape as a Fiero. I'm not saying that it is, I'm just saying that it's a much smaller car. So tomorrow I'll have answers for you for sure, okay? So we're trying something new on this trip. There's a bag that doesn't tangle on my rope, so I'm able to just pull it straight out of the bag, and then this floats and this floats. So as long as we're not in like heavy current, then this will all float. But if we're in heavy current, then we'll still use the oh, you know what, I should have had one more carabiner. Then we'll use the bigger buoys. All right, off to the right by about 5 feet. Yep. There we go. We got a solid lock there. There you go, just like that. So then there's that other one on the left. Upside down. Almost looks like there's 2 cars right there. See how they're smashed together? I think you have 2 cars here. It almost looks like to me, in my opinion, that they made an attempt to pull those 2 cars and smashed them into one another, and that's what ended up happening here. All right, let's go down then here. Gotta go forward. There we go, we're on it. We are on it, nice and tight. Here we go. So I think there's 2 cars right there, together, piled on one. So then that should just leave the SUV that we're not diving on. Where'd my other buoy go? I don't see it floating down the river. All right, here's the cars. There's my rope. My rope is 2 feet underwater, somewhere right here. Ridiculous. All right, well, lesson learned. So we'll have to mark it again before that one goes under. Let's grab a buoy just for the other one also. Let's figure out what we've done here. Yeah, I think I'm going to change the way that we're going to do this. Is put a knot in the top of this. Anyway, we'll rearrange all this later, but for now, let's just go with that. So there's a lead line out the back. There's that. We'll move out of the way. The other one, we're going to see if we can snag it with a magnet line, drag it up, and then do the same thing. This buoy. So there's the magnet line, 2 feet underwater. All right, so there it is, coming up on the line. We'll circle around. Let's see if we can snag it. Yep. All right, we got the line. Now we'll pull it up. Nice and slow. Come on, stay on the line. No, I think it came off. Shoot, it came off.
I would have been very impressed if you got it.
Oh, yeah.
That's impressive you even caught it too.
I was trying. So, see, I can see it right there. It's 2 feet underwater. You see, we're on the line again. Okay, now we're attached to it. And I need to not lose it. Come on, don't lose it. Oh, it just fell off again. Right there. Bounce right into it. Boom, boom, boom. And hit it. All right. Look at that. There's my other line. So now, all right, now we'll pull this one off. Okay, there we go. All right, let's go get Byron suited up and put him on these two down here. All right, so I'm giving you what appears to be the newest of the dry suits. So that way there should be less likely of there being anything wrong with it. See if there's a license plate on it, any other emblems. You got your knife there, so you can use that as a prying tool. Okay. Usually.
And if not, you said go for mirror?
Yeah, go for a mirror if not. The one vehicle they did identify, they think it was a Mazda.
Okay.
So
a Mazda.
But they said it was on its wheels. I believe that this is upside down. So
yeah. Okay.
To me, it looked like there was wheels. So.
Okay.
He's on the line, he's at 4 feet, so he's descending a little bit, so he's doing good. Yeah, first time he's been in the water in a while, but this is a nice easy dive for him.
Even like the back of the vehicle. Oh, here we go. Oh, here, that's a foot. There's a tire.
You can tell just from the surface he breathes a lot less than you.
Does he?
Yeah. Your bubbles are always big.
Yeah, I am a heavy breather. He's still at the back, so whatever he's doing, he's really interested in the back of the car.
This is the emblem of the car. Not. So you're at the front of the car. There's the line, the top. There's no emblem. Alternative colors. You have this is 3-color scheme. Well, that's the tail light. Okay. That's the tail light.
Alright, Byron, that's long enough. Come on up.
Alright, now go back to the line. Kind of disgusting with the board.
What do you think on there?
Well, okay, so the tail light is the only thing that I can really get an eye on. And it's round. It's a rounded tail light, very smooth. The tail light has 1-inch alternating depressions. 1 inch tall,
You're able to get a color on the car?
Okay.
Let's get you on this other one real quick. Only do like 5 to 7 minutes on this other one though.
Okay.
Well, that truck went on the wrong freeway. Took the wrong turn. Well, lucky there was a guardrail. He's got a trailer on him too. Huh. Yeah, that's a southbound lane there. He's not going the right way on the southbound though. Alright, so Byron is down on the vehicle.
Alright, another tire. With the V on the emblem here. That's a Chevy. That is blue. I believe.
Chevy? Just one?
I thought that there was a second vehicle because there's only like this much space between two wheels.
Right.
But I can only get a read on one of them, which is a Chevy.
Okay. All right, yeah, let me take you to shore and then I'll come back and pull these. Let's see if I can get some part numbers on this. Hey, this is a Chrysler emblem, or a logo, I believe, which is Pontiac, right?
Yeah, but it looks like a Stratus. You know what I'm talking about with the taillights, Jared?
Okay.
They're round.
So it's a newer car. It's not. They're not square.
Yes, that's where it's round.
Did it go all the way across the entire back end?
No. So it went wait. Those are alternating.
Yeah.
Gosh, you know, Jared. Possibly. Let me see.
How far around the corner did it go, though?
It went around the corner pretty good. However, did it go around the corner and I was feeling the back of no? Because I had my hand in the trunk. The trunk is very the trunk has a lip like this, Jared, about this tall.
Yeah.
The trunk has a lip about this tall.
Yeah, that's what you have here.
Does it have a double exhaust? This Fiero has a double exhaust, and it could have been an add-on, but it's stainless steel. That's the only thing that really is identifiable.
Pontiac Fiero exhaust tips.
So it had a double, like 2 exhaust tips out of the muffler factory?
Yeah.
Jared, it could be it. Well, you reviewed the footage. Jared, look at the footage on the GoPro. You'll be able to see the taillight yourself.
Do you have good footage?
Oh yeah, I got close enough. Oh yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, let's go look at footage then.
All right, let's go do it.
So what we have is the second one is a pickup truck. With this one, we don't quite know yet. We have footage that we're going to review. The trunk of it is thin, like a Fiero. The tail lights kind of stagger with a black color. But we have a piece off of it with a part number. So we're going to look at the part number, and we're going to go review some footage and see if any of this matches up, and then we're going to go back down on the vehicle if it does. So that's where we're at right now. It's upside down. It's definitely indicative of the era that we're looking for. But right now I don't have a definitive answer for you.
Okay.
So all right, give me 5-10 minutes and I'll have some more information.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, there's just so many bugs on this crawling around. Thanks. All right, so let's see what this brings up. A 1999 Dodge Stratus. Okay, that's what that is right there. Right?
Chrysler and Dodge were same company.
Yeah. So a Dodge Stratus then, huh? For a 1999 Dodge Stratus. So let's look up a 1999 Dodge Stratus rear tail lights.
Yeah, looking around.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the black red that he was talking about.
Well, yeah, let's double check one then. There's that.
Yeah, so let's look at the footage.
Well,
This belongs to a 1999 Dodge Stratus.
Stratus, I called it. I said Stratus.
About that tall.
So you got the black stripe in the middle.
Yep.
With
Red,
the two reds.
alternated. Well, more. So it goes down here. So there's like one. How many reds? 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 reds. But there's multiple.
So your Dodge Stratus doesn't have that.
Yeah, unless it's aftermarket.
But now
I tried to rip it off. I couldn't get it.
You're not gonna do after after lights like that go all the way around. I wouldn't think. 1983. Pontiac Fiero rear lights. This one has Pontiac in the middle with your lights off to the side. But then you've got this one here, Pontiac. Oh, that's a Firebird. So not a Pontiac Fiero.
That's a good example, but that's not.
Yeah,
that's not what it is. See, yeah, that's flat.
Yeah, that's flat.
Where I wouldn't be able to feel it. And then, no, it's still. It's the same thing. It's still flat.
And this is the back of it.
Yeah. So it goes from here to here.
Does it say Dodge right there? DODG. What does that say right there? You have an emblem right there.
Double tailpipe Dodge. You know, it could be a Dodge Stealth.
No. Not that. Where did you get that part off of?
It would be driver rear. It was near the license plate. So if the car's upright like this, that taillight I was playing with, you know, is here, and I came around here and underneath where it was.
So there's the light, and then you got it from the underneath of it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's not the news that we wanted to have, but we do have answers, and then we got to go give them to Brandy. Okay, Brandy. Not the answers we're looking for, but we're able to identify what it is. You know, it appears to be a 1999 Dodge Stratus. We did some checking as far as logos, Chrysler, crossover, if any parts were ever mixed and matched, and at no point were the parts ever mixed and matched for any of the Chrysler products over to Pontiac, which was a GM product. So we're able to rule it out for those two vehicles, and then the other one that was down there was the SUV that there's just no reason for us to dive on it. We were looking for home, so
well, that's good.
Yeah. So I think where we're at now, you know, is that, you know, we'll put this video together, continue to spread awareness about your mom, and, you know, hopefully in the future that the paper plant will get back a hold of us, and the legal team will give us permission to go check out some additional locations over there. And next time we're through the area, let's see if we can identify a few more areas that you know have always been like, you know what, maybe that one might be worth checking out.
Yeah, well, we appreciate y'all coming and everything y'all done. You know, it means a lot to us, because even if, you know, we didn't find anything, it just brings awareness, like you said. And before I started putting it all on Facebook and stuff, not, you know, over a year ago, I would call, and sometimes they would call me back, and oh no, no changes, we haven't, but they hadn't even looked at nothing. They hadn't even been checking on her case. And then sometimes they wouldn't even call me back when I would call to check on the case. And so when I put that all out on Facebook, I had a detective contact me because it got a lot of attention.
Good.
And so also, I know sometimes just word of mouth, and after all these years of this going on, if somebody did get her, if something happened to her, it just brings awareness. And maybe somebody's gone that somebody was afraid of, or maybe somebody heard something, and we just want somebody to come forward to lead us to where she's at if they know something.
Yeah.
That's the hope. And I mean, I knew that this was a possibility, you know, and we understand, but I'm glad that you looked, because we don't know. If we never look, we don't know for sure. We for sure don't know then.
Yeah, and we definitely live in a new society to where social media and the web sleuths, and and they're going to take this and they're going to run with it. What locations did we look at, and what locations have other teams looked at, and what are some new ideas that and whether they reach out to you. You have a web page or a Facebook page,
and now I found out that the detective that's working on it now, he's done a lot more than anybody has in years and years, Detective Shaddix, and now I found out that he's even contacted Arkansas State Police, so they're looking into it some too. So it's just to bring awareness, and so that people realize that people aren't forgotten and that they're not just to be discarded, that they're people, and they belong to somebody. So
yeah. Well, thank you for letting us be a part of this with you.
Yeah,
and
I appreciate it.
Yeah, like I said, we'll put this out, and hopefully somebody out there will see it and be like, you know what, I know something, or I heard something different that we've not heard yet before. And
yeah, and we appreciate y'all so much. I know it's a lot of work and a lot of effort on y'all's part.
Yeah.
And you're doing a good thing for people. And even if you don't find my mother, you might find somebody else. You know what I mean? And answer somebody else's questions. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, but we're going to hit the road. We got to head over to Shreveport, and we've got a lead on Savannah Hill over there, and hopefully we'll be able to finally give her sister and her family the answers they're looking for. So.
And I hope they get the answers they need.
Yeah. All right.
Thank y'all.
Yep, you're welcome. Thank you.